Hello, everybody. Today we have Dr. Ved Prakash with us. Dr. Ved Prakash is a scientist turned entrepreneur and a co-founder of NutriDocs and GeniUs Universal. He's passionate about empowering and entrepreneurs to achieve balance in all aspects of life. So I would like to welcome Dr. Ved to our channel, and I'm very grateful to him for making the time and speaking with us. Welcome, Dr. Ved.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay, Dr. Ved, please tell us, where are you originally from and where are you currently located?
Yeah, I'm from originally Ranchi, Jharkhand in India, and currently I'm located in Austin, Texas. I live here with my family, my wife, my 3-year-old daughter, and 3 dogs. All of them are American. I'm the only Desi guy, so it's a mixed family. Yeah.
And so, what motivated you to keep pushing forward despite experiencing failed startups and personal setback?
My honest answer would be uh, failure is just a learning experience, nothing more than that. All right. It does not mean you have to end the thing that you're working on. So just like when we were a kid, we did fall down while starting to walk. So that does not mean that we cry about it and then just keep crawling entire life. So same way, each startup taught me certain things so that I can do the next one better.
Uh, can you share the most significant lesson that you have learned as a first generation entrepreneur?
Yeah, the major learning experience for me was understanding that yes, it's important that we respect our parents and our professors, teachers who have raised us. But just because they have played a role in the earlier stage doesn't mean whatever they say all the time is right. Uh, or they could be saying what is right for them or in their perspective, but doesn't mean that it is right for me because my core values could be different. It's just like saying that, hey, my father has been traveling from Delhi to Mumbai entire life, so he thinks that the train is the best vehicle because airplane or something like that did not exist. Now I want to travel to America. I cannot take that vehicle. So, in the same sense, they might say that, hey, job security, job is the best thing, and do all it all life because that's what they found to be sustainable. But for long-term success and creating a bigger impact, I need to take a different method. And also, depending upon the outcomes I want to produce, I need to have different kinds of work habit, mindset, etc. So, in summary, as first generation entrepreneur, my parents did play a role in terms of raising me to certain level, but after that, I had to find a next set of parents, my business parents, who could empower me to think differently and take me to a different level.
How did you transition from being a scientist to co-founding two successful businesses? What was a turning point for you?
Uh, so in my case, I was working towards becoming a scientist in the field of nanotechnology, its biomedical applications like early diagnosis, target therapy. So these kinds of research sectors are very, very highly funded. Um, in fact, my research lab moved from India to USA so that we could speed up the research, commercialize the patents we already had. But what I found out was three things that were bothering me. Number one was the timeline. How long will it take to make a real impact? For example, an online company like Amazon, which doesn't manufacture things, has nothing to do with the clinical field, takes about 14 and a half years to make its first profit. On the other side, our clinical research will take easily 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Second thing was with regards to the work-life craziness, I don't call it balance because I have seen people in my own family, they make good living, but it came at a price. For example, my brother, he graduated from IIT in 2008, and within 2 weeks of his joining, he got laid off. Not because of his problem, because the economy was bad. Then he changed his field, got into data science, works at Amazon. Uh, and they do make significant income in India. husband and wife, but a lot of times they have to send their kids to daycare. Uh, so we don't want to do that for the rest of their life. And on the other side, I've seen my father, grandfather, they had very well established businesses, but I rarely saw them at home, 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. many days a week, 5, 6, 7 days. So in that sense, that father figure was kind of missing, and that leads to a lot of, I would say, mental development challenges for the kid. Yes, they could be performing really well academically because of the pressure or whatever, or the ambition, but because of lack of proper parenting, the lack of proper self-image happens, and then it leads to situations like the EY uh, case
Yeah.
of recent deaths, or IITs doing suicide. All of these things are just simple examples of what happens because of lack of proper parenting. Third thing was with regards to ethics. The medical research is very important research. It saves lives, but it does come at a cost of commercialization nowadays. For example, we have been successfully able to reverse chronic cases of diabetes in 15 years of diabetes in a matter of 3 to 6 months without use of any medication or uh, special intervention or surgeries. Uh, on the other hand, those people who are paying average 80,000 rupees per year from past 15 years. So my question was that why are these people paying money to buy the drugs unnecessarily when it can be reversed in a matter of 3 to 6 months without use of any medication? So those kinds of things were bothering me in middle of my PhD. Basically, the timeline for impact. Number two was the uh, work-life balance, as they say, or was like craziness. And number three was the ethics. These were the three reasons that pushed me to do something beyond the standard, well-settled career of being a scientist. And yeah, so that was the main thing. Yeah, it was about 12 years ago, 10 years ago from today.
So, what key mindset shifts do you believe are essential for aspiring entrepreneurs?
One of the major faults of the education system is to teach people to be very independent. What happens because of that is they try to come up with their own random ideas. I have done that 5 times, 5 year startups. And they will seek information from different sources like internet or friends, family, but they will not seek perspective or advice from established entrepreneurs and get the training before they execute the business systems. As a result, for sure, the business fails. It's just like I have been driving a bike or car entire life. Suddenly, somebody gave me the keys to fly an aeroplane. Now, if I sit in the aeroplane seat, is the airplane going to fly? Probably it will fly one time. After that, it will never fly,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, in that sense, people need to understand, aspiring entrepreneurs especially, that entrepreneurship is no different than engineering. That, hey, you need to get trained before you start executing in the field. Yes, you can learn in the field to a good extent, but it will be much better if we learn a lot of things ahead of time in a safe environment where there's less chance of death, right? So that is the main thing, that if you are around successful entrepreneurs who have been there, done that, and are having the outcomes you want, either in terms of the method that you are applying or in terms of the outcomes you want to produce, either ways is fine, whatever is your core value. But you should be around somebody who has been there, done that, learn from them, and then meanwhile apply in the field with them. And once you have learned enough, kind of, then you start branching out based upon the recommendations of your mentors, not thinking, oh, I have learned enough, I will exit.
So, what inspired you to focus on preventive health rather than traditional medical approaches with NutriDocs?
During this journey of 5 failed startups, at the age of around 20, I used to have migraine because of stress. I used to have a nice headache like this throughout my head. And I used to wear spectacles because different hospitals I went to, the local hospitals in Bhubaneswar where I was studying. I went to the best hospital, so-called Shankar Netralaya in Chennai, and many other places I went, even Ranchi. Uh, but each doctor was prescribing me different kinds of medication, different kinds of spectacles of different powers. And I was kind of sick and tired of that. Finally, one of the doctors in Bhubaneswar, he understood that, hey, this guy is a little stressed out because he is doing too many things. I was a cultural secretary, but then was becoming the president of the student union, having a girlfriend, talking till 3 a.m. and then waking up at 7 a.m., going to college, 1.5 times syllabus than normal people. A lot of work I was doing. So he told me to take a little relaxed life and then uh, prioritize my things better so that I can do more with less time. I did that for, and of course, dietary changes were there. 3 to 6 months, migraine disappeared, spectacles disappeared. After that, it has been almost 15 years. I have not worn a spectacle, and my eyesight is better than most people that I come across. So, in this way, my personal journey was I was able to overcome that lifetime worth of headache and medication in a matter of few months. If I can do it, if I can do it, then why should this not be available to other people? So I transitioned from the maintenance of disease to reversal of disease because most of the diseases are chronic anyway. Cold and flu are minute things which happen here and there, and they can also be managed much better by if you have a better immunity. But other diseases like diabetes, heart disease, arthritis, migraine, and many other PCOD or infertility, etc., those can be reversed.
How do you maintain harmony between different areas of your life as an entrepreneur?
I attribute all of this to my mentor because they did not teach me how to have a work-life balance, but how to live an integrated life. What it means is, uh, for example, Sachin Tendulkar does not have a work-life balance. He has a integration of his life around cricket. He sleeps with his cricket bat. That's what I have heard from people, and I saw in the documentary also. But I'm not sure. But I can tell about my life that yeah, I have a vision. In fact, as we speak, my vision board is in front of me on my computer screen. So I know what is the blueprint or the future, how it is going to look like. Now, what career, what business, what kind of person should I have around me in my life? All of those things are kind of predefined. Of course, there's some room for changes, but there's a kind of a map for my life. And once you have that clarity, then things start falling in place. And of course, the constant guidance from somebody who has been there, done that, is living the outcomes you want and seeking their perspective, not permission. Perspective is you ask for suggestions that, hey, this is the situation I'm in, this is the relationship issue I'm facing. What do you think I should do? And they will give some perspectives, which would be most likely better than my own thinking because I have never succeeded yet. And implement and keep doing back and forth feedback until I succeed. So, in summary, I would say a lot of grit and perseverance, uh, and most importantly, having the right mentorship with the right relationship is the key to make this happen.
So, what does freedom mean to you in the context of mentoring families to achieve it by 2030?
So, uh, we celebrate Freedom Day, especially Indians, on 15th of August. It's celebrated 75 years now, and we feel proud.
Yeah.
Yes, we have got rid of the imperial system around us, but the there is still some reminiscent amount, like leftover amount from there. Like for example, we still follow the same 200-year-old education system, which was designed to produce engineers and doctors and lawyers, etc. People have not yet overcome that thinking that, hey, before British system, there used to be self-employment a lot more than employment,
Mm.
right? So in that sense, people need to learn how to be their own boss, work for themselves, have good goals. Because yes, the job provides the so-called stable income, but we all know how stable it is nowadays. In fact, we just published our book. For the entire process, I did not need any typist to type my book. I used Google Voice. To draw the graphics of the book, I use WhatsApp. It has got AI.
Mm.
For reading the book, making it an audiobook, I again used AI. So literally, I took away jobs. AI took away jobs of three people at least,
Yeah.
right? So things are changing, things are evolving. They need to learn to get rid of old thinking and embrace new thinking. That hey,
Yeah.
uh, we need to take care of our finances properly. Uh, Same way in terms of relationships, we are prisoners of our own thoughts. We are told many times that hey, you are not good enough, you are fat, you are tall, or you are short, or whatever. Different kinds of names we are called when we were kids, and then it carries with us for the rest of the life. And then we pass the same thing to our next generation, and that is how the inheritance of disease also happens. By the way, in fact, less than 10% of cancers, for example, is diabetic genetic. The rest of the cancer is inherited through, I would say, the dietary patterns that we have. So we need to understand that part as well. So in summary, I'm just giving examples of how people are still stuck with those mental baggage of different sorts through generations after generations. So true freedom is we understand, hey, what is our true meaning and true purpose that we want to create, first of all. Then letting go of old thinking that is not going to allow them to achieve that outcome. And then embracing the new thoughts, implementing, executing to be totally free of your own past. That doesn't mean that you just forget everything, but in fact, you have a gratitude about your past that, hey, I'm glad that I'm a mechanic's son, but that doesn't mean that I stay like that. I can be who I choose to in different areas of life, like health, finances, relationships, career, spiritual life. Because I'm an adult, I'm an independent thinker. But my independence comes as a result of interdependence with high quality people who have achieved what I want to achieve. And of course, my own thinking comes into picture.
So, how do you think your upbringing from a humble background shaped your approach to business and entrepreneurship?
So we should never forget where we come from, or else we'll go back the same place. So in the same way, coming from a humble beginning keeps me humble. I, Whenever I develop that ego that, oh, I'm a big shot or whatever, I fall down big time. So in that sense, it helps a lot. That
Yeah.
hey, and I can relate with a lot of other people because majority of section of society will be filled with people who are middle class, lower middle class, right? So it's a good inspiration for other people that hey, if I can do it, so can they. But they will need to grow and work hard and become who whatever they need to overcome. My journey is not a comparison for them, but it's an inspiration. So, in summary, yes, it does help big time because if I had not that opportunity of growing in a lower middle class family, the growth would not have been shown and
Yeah.
it would not have become a book out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what advice would you give to someone starting with limited resources based on your book, Driving to Flying?
So in the book Driving to Flying, I have talked about that if you want to learn how to fly, you don't buy your own aeroplane. You go to a flying school which already has an airplane. There's already an established person who is open to teaching you how to fly, right? So same way in life, if you are wanting to uh, get to high levels, it's very important that we reach out. We reach out for support, we reach out for help, and not just looking to gain, but instead of give first, meaning if you are, for example, wanting to work with a professor on a research project, don't say that, hey, I have this amazing idea, I want to work on that with you. Rather, I see that you are working on this amazing idea. How can I contribute to it? And then they will open the doors that, hey, you seem to be a guy who is interested in this, and I see that you are going to add value. Come here. And as you start working with them on their ideas, they will empower you and support you. You don't have to pay a hefty fee. In fact, you'll be getting paid to work there, right? And then gradually, as you continue to gather experience, then you can eventually branch out based upon the, uh, I would say, the value that you received and your own independent thinking also.
So, how do you ensure that your business maintains its integrity while growing, especially considering your experiences with both ethical and unethical practices in the healthcare sector?
One of the primary reasons I wrote the book, or my wife and I, we wrote the book, was because we have seen enough of these unethical behaviors. And just like every country has got a constitution, we wanted to write our own constitution for our company. And it could be a role model for many other businesses who are going to, or business owners who are going to read this book, or any person who is going to share it with someone who owns a business. Uh, so that way, the mindset, ethics, values are already kind of ingrained in a physical copy. After that, whether the person follows or not, that's their option. But still, in our selection process, we take about 3 to 4 weeks or more than that, actually 8 weeks sometimes, to kind of test out that, hey, is this person the right person to even work with? And when we see some behavior which is not aligned with our values, we call it out. We don't just push it under the rug that everything is awesome and nice. And as a result of that kind of a deep selection process ahead of time, which again I learned from my mentors, the integrity of the organization is very well maintained. And even if somebody fizzles out or they leave the organization, they still carry forward a good name for us. That, hey, I felt good while working there. There was no unnecessary pressure from anyone. I had to leave because of my own life challenges or situations. But as much as possible, we do our best. Of course, we began with a lot of unethical or immoral behaviors in the initial days because we come from a sector where you step over each other to make money. Like in employment, like there are five employees and one manager position. So you do backbiting and bitching and politics to get to the top. Uh, Same thing does not apply in business world. In fact, if you continue to do that, your business will collapse very fast. And it did collapse for us because that is not the right mindset. Now, after learning these things, we did implement that in our selection process and we keep improving our system for feedback mechanism to ensure that standards are maintained. Of course, right now the organization size is small, so I can say that, hey, everything is fine. But as the organization size grows bigger, things are bound to happen. But again, these mechanisms that we have set in the backend do help to eject out the virus from the system.
So, please tell us, what is life according to you?
So I had been asking myself, hey, what is life? What is life? Who am I? Why am I on this earth? All these so-called profound questions. Uh, After watching a movie called Lucy, which was released in 2014, uh, in that movie, one of the speakers does talk about a very simple and elegant way to define that, which is life is the process of gathering even information and evolving in time. Basically, we continue to learn and grow and change ourselves. And when the situations are tough, we hunker down. And when situation is good, we reproduce whatever we have learned. And that reproduction in animals or small scale organisms is more genetic or behavioral at max. In humans, it can be literally anyway. Like right now, I'm reproducing through this video into so many minds. Right, I'm virtually traveling to every part of the world.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
in that sense, this kind of a collaborative environment provides humans to overpower any physically powerful animal like elephant or cat or dog or whatever. Right. So that is what is life according to me. Gathering information in evolving in time.
So, what advice would you like to give to your younger self?
Nothing change. Don't don't change whatever, as in like I don't want the younger guy to, of course, continue should continue to grow, but I won't like to go back and change anything, because all of those things has resulted me in who I am today, and that is what has been created into a book which I could share with other people as a story. Now, had I gone down a different path, I would have been a different version of myself, and again
Yeah,
I would be proud of myself for whatever things I have done and all the mistakes I have done also, because
yeah,
those mistakes has helped me to become better.
yeah,
So in summary, those are all different alternative realities, and I do not have any regrets as such that, hey, oh, I should have done this or done that.
yeah,
Well, I do have seven failed relationships, five failed startups. It's okay.
yeah,
It all helped me to become who I am,
yeah,
because just like in PhD also 90%, 95% experiments fail. The 10% which succeed, they become the research papers.
yeah.
The rest 95% person, it becomes the doctor.
Uh, if it's okay with you, can you please tell us a bit about your book, Driving to Flying? What is it about?
So driving to flying is about, uh, think of it like this, like we are in our entire life, we have been learning or driving a bike or a car. There are only set rules. We can go only so far, so fast. We get stuck in the traffic jam. We stay consistent and persistent. We will race against each other in during the traffic lights, so-called rat race, and we'll reach home eventually, right? Dead and tired, and then repeat the cycles again. On the other side, flying is like, uh, or like you can go literally anywhere as fast as you want, as far as you want, and in fact, statistically, flying is safer than driving, by the way. So that is what is the long-term outcomes that one thinks about there. So in the same way, our jobs or small-scale businesses, the career that we are told to do is like driving. You can go so far, so fast. You get stuck in the corporate ceilings, the glass ceiling that is on top of us, the discrimination and all of that. Whereas if you want to be your own boss, you lead your life on automation, because the aeroplane can go on autopilot. Of course, Tesla cars can also go on autopilot, but it can go really far and fast. The aeroplane, we all know.
Yeah,
So in that sense, living to our truest potential of who we are, who we can become, a lot of it depends upon the vehicle and the arena we choose, right? If Sachin Tendulkar is stuck in singing, he's in the big problem, hopefully, right? So he needs the right field, right environment to succeed. And there are co-pilots, the mentors who teach them how to succeed. They don't do it by themselves. So in summary, every journey is made in a reverse engineered way, that, hey, we need to decide the destination and then we choose the methods to get there.
yeah,
Not other way that, hey, I have already chosen the car, then I will figure out where to go.
yeah,
Like what we do, right? मेरा बेटा engineer बनेगा or doctor बनेगा. So It should not be like that, that, hey, I will become engineer first and then I will decide how to live life. It should be other way that, hey, I want to live this kind of a life. Should I become engineer, doctor, pilot, or whatever, or a business person? And then to make that happen, we have co-pilots or trainers who have been there, done that, and we implement. And during that journey, we don't quit. So that is the summary of the book. Of course, there are far more details based upon my past
Yeah.
16 years of experience in the entrepreneurship world,
Yeah.
starting from
Yeah.
first year of undergrad
Yeah.
till today. Yeah.
All right, Dr. Ved, thank you so much for sharing all your valuable information and experience with us. Thank you so much for your time again. And thank you so much, everybody, for watching this video. And have a good day.
Have a good day.